What's good with it, YouTube? Fight fans all over the world. It's your boy, Real Talk Boxing, and I'm back at you again with some old news. It was published 2 days ago. And listen, I know here as of late, you guys have seen the disappointment in my appearance and heard the disappointment or hear the disappointment in my voice when I'm talking about the boxing world as it is today. You know, as we all know, it has changed over the years. And sometimes I could be a little grumpy and upset about how the boxing world is in its present state. I do show my disgust in a lot of videos, and but I just got to keep it real, man. I got to keep it real. I am excited about a handful of fights that are to occur, you know, later this year. But it's stuff like this that really gets under my skin. But I'm going to try to deliver it with grace and poise. You know, we talking about Ryan Garcia. Like I said, this was published 2 days ago. I'm not concerned about getting out the news first because all new news isn't true. And I like to chew on things before I deliver it. So Ryan Garcia says he's too big and too strong for Lomachenko. Ryan Garcia still... Okay, hold on. Ryan Garcia says he'd like to fight former 3-division world champion Lomachenko. But ultimately, he believes he's too big and too strong. Ryan Garcia needs an opponent for his next fight still, as he's chosen to pass up a title shot with WBC lightweight champion Devin the Dream Haney. And says he's not interested in facing Fortuna. Lomachenko lost his last fight against Lopez by a 12th round unanimous decision last October. It was a fight that Lomachenko controlled the last 6 rounds. I don't know about that. I say the last 4 rounds, but you know. But it wasn't enough for him to come back. Many boxing fans had Lopez winning a narrow decision, but the judging crew gave him a lopsided win. Ryan Garcia thinks Lomachenko would have won if he bitten down on his mouthpiece and fought hard in the first 6 rounds instead of giving them away by not throwing punches. I agree. Lomachenko would be an excellent scrap for the 22-year-old Ryan Garcia to add to his collection if he could work up the nerve to fight him. Unfortunately, Ryan Garcia says he only wants to fight Manny Pacquiao or Gervonta Tank Davis next. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? So, here we go. When young fighters, young up-and-coming fighters accomplish, really just one thing. They take one step up fight and they win in dramatic fashion. No hate. Ryan beat Campbell in dramatic fashion. We've gone over this time and time again. But does he have more to prove? Of course he does. For some reason, Ryan Garcia, this is no hate on Ryan Garcia. This is just the way that I view it, in my opinion. For some reason, in my opinion, Ryan Garcia thinks just because he won his step-up fight, that makes him the man. That makes him a shot caller. That makes him the A-side. That doesn't. It doesn't. But you know what kind of does make him the A-side, which is disgusting to me, especially when we're talking about the boxing world, is his following. We all know this, the popularity. Now the boxing world is about popularity. And I don't like that. Boxing should be about your accolades, your accomplishments, what you've done, your record, who you've beaten. Excuse me. Not how many followers you have. You know, I don't like it. I don't like it. And for some reason, he thinks that he can skip past all the proving yourself because he does have tons more to prove. You know, despite the fact he did a great job against this one step-up fight, he still has more to prove, but he act like he doesn't. And there's a reason why he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, because for some reason, listen, this is going to be kind of hard to explain, but maybe you'll understand what I'm saying. Tank Davis is the easiest fight for Ryan Garcia to fight out of these young and up-and-coming strong fighters. It's the easiest fight for him. But it's the easiest fight for him to get knocked out in also. Now, here's what I mean by that. Tank Davis doesn't have movement. Tank Davis is flat-footed. Tank Davis walks straight towards you. Now, there's going to be people in the comment down below saying, nah, you don't know what you're talking about, real talk. He does have movement. He does, not in my opinion, he doesn't. He stands right there in the pocket. He gets hit way too much. And you can also argue the fact that Ryan Garcia is flat-footed. He doesn't have good head movement, of course, which makes him very much more susceptible to get knocked out by Tank Davis, who is an explosive power puncher. You kind of understand what I'm saying? Gervonta's there to be hit. And we all know that Ryan Garcia has power, right or wrong. But they're kind of in the same boat. So if they were to fight, it wouldn't go all 12 rounds. Somebody's getting knocked out. And I do believe that Ryan has a great chance in beating Tank Davis. Some people don't. Some people do not. I see Tank Davis's attributes and I see his downfalls. He's flat-footed. He doesn't move his head. He doesn't. He doesn't throw punches and munches. He's a counter puncher. He's relying on that one power shot. And you can't rely on it. Sometimes you have to make that shot happen. Sometimes you have to set that shot up. And Tank Davis is really not a fighter to do that. Well, what about what he did against Santa Cruz? He took 2 shots before he landed that shot. And Santa Cruz isn't a heavy-handed puncher. You get what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So before y'all start knocking me over the head, really and truly listening to what I'm saying. I mean, I can't expect for it to make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. So, I understand why he wants to fight Davis. And I understand why he wants to fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's 42, 43 years old, and he's been off for 2 freaking years. I understand it. And I understand why you don't want to fight Devin Haney also. I understand why you don't want to fight Fortuna. He wants that big bag fight. He wants that fight that he doesn't have to work to have. You still have a lot to prove, Ryan. A lot to prove, bro. He's trying to skip past all the hard work to get there. There's levels to it. Not nowadays, but used to be levels to it. I'm going to use Floyd Mayweather as a prime example. You may or may not know I am not a huge fan of Floyd Mayweather. I'm not a fan of Money Mayweather, but I'm a huge fan of Pretty Boy Mayweather. You guys remember Pretty Boy Mayweather? Getting tongue-tied. Mayweather. Sound like a 4-year-old. Pretty Boy was a fighter who fought everybody. Was a fighter who beat everybody. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how boring his fights were at times, regardless on how much of a defensive fighter he is, he was fighting everybody and he was beating everybody. He was at one point in time. But right after Oscar De La Hoya, things started to change a little bit. You know? And why? It's because he beat the man. He barely beat the man. Barely, but he beat the man. So he became the A side. But he went through the trenches. It's protocol. But nowadays, that's not protocol. You have this young fighter in Ryan Garcia who has ample opportunity for great fights. Great fights. But he doesn't want to put his O on the line. If I'm going to put my O on the line, it's going to be in a mega fight where I'm making millions on top of millions of dollars. Yeah, but you got to do something to get there, bro. And Luke Campbell is that's not it. It's not enough. It's not enough. So when I see things like this, when I read Ryan Garcia chooses to pass up Devin Haney and Fortuna and try to get two fights that ain't going to happen no time soon, I question his confidence in himself and in his ability. I question a handful of these fighters nowadays, their confidence in themselves and their abilities. Like I said back in the day, fighters knew who they were. They knew exactly who they were. And they'll look another man in the eye, and if they believed that they could beat them, they would fight them. Don't go on like that no more. And this is the prime example. I don't like this, man. I don't like it. Something's got to change. But Lomachenko? Too big and too strong for Lomachenko? Nah, I don't think so. I think Lomachenko beats Ryan Garcia. I think he beats him easily. Easily. Too much movement. Too much ring generalship. Now, he froze up against Lopez, but apparently he was injured. I mean, I got to take a man for his word until you're proven wrong, until you're made out to be a liar. And, you know, I don't know. Lomachenko hasn't been that type of fighter, you know, throughout his career, as far as I know. But he says he was injured in the Lopez fight. Something up with his shoulder or something like that. But I don't think Ryan Garcia can handle Lomachenko. But, hey, man, we'll probably never know because all he wants to fight is Manny Pacquiao and Tank Davis. Don't want to fight Devin Haney. Don't want to fight Fortuna. I mean, so, I mean, yeah. It's hard for me to be excited about the boxing world nowadays because of stuff like this. But nevertheless, I am still a boxing fan, and I am excited about things to come. Things to come. And I'm going to try my best to be more positive. I need to stop reading stuff like this, though. I'll tell you that much. Never mind my opinion on my rant. I want to know your opinion. I want to know your comments down below. You know how it go. As always, respect all. Fear none. God bless. Till the next time we'll talk boxing. I'm up and I'm out of here, baby.